on, Bill? All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Monday, April 10th, 2023 Select Board meeting. As always, we'll start with a Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
for which it stands, one nation,
under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I just saw Russ pulling in, by the way.
Okay, cool. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to say welcome to our newest member, Mr. Bill Wilson. Repeat guest, I guess, from a few
Cutthroat
years
election.
ago.
We didn't know.
Yeah, it was a tough one. Stayed up all night.
It's a big race, right? All right, we have a handful of board and committee openings. We have a Historic District Commission, 2 openings, 1 for a Board of Realtor and 1 for an at-large member. 1 opening on the Conservation Commission, 1 opening from a member of the Housing Authority for the Human Rights Commission, 1 opening for the HEIC, the Hamilton Environmental Impact Committee, and 1 associate member opening for the Hamilton Council on Aging. And now we have a public comment for 3 minutes on topics not already on the agenda. If you are online, please feel free to raise your hand. If you're in person, come up to the podium, say who you are.
He is just in time to handle the ruckus that is.
And Rick, I just got,
Yeah.
Good timing.
I just got your, not your, but I should say the HDC mailer in my mailbox today, so it is circulating.
Oh, good. Well, thank you, and that's why I'm here, and thank you for allowing me to spend a minute with you. I just wanted to invite you in person, if you haven't received an invitation or seen anything around town. On Wednesday, April 19th at 6:30 p.m. at the Hamilton Wenham Public Library, we'll be having a information session on the concept plan for new sidewalks and pedestrian safety and traffic calming improvements in the downtown, stretching from Linden to the pool, up Asbury to Willow, Willow to Linden, including Railroad Ave. Pretty exciting. Sean and the Board of Selectmen and Joe and the HDC have gotten together and contributed $100,000 each to fund the hiring of a consultant to do an expedited concept plan and preliminary design necessary to submit a competitive design application for MassWorks funding. Looks like it's probably going to be in the neighborhood of $5 million. For all new sidewalks, and I was just talking with Russ, and we're going to have the fire chief and police chief on a Zoom call, or not, you won't be on the call, but yours, Scott James will be on the Zoom call on Thursday to make sure that police and fire is involved, Tim's involved as well. So anybody that's listening, certainly you're welcome to come. We'd love public comment and any input on the design. So that's pretty much it.
Thank you, Rick.
All right, thank you.
Hopefully we get a good turnout.
Hopefully.
All right, any board member reports before we get to Chief Stevens? Caroline, anything from you?
No, sir. Thank you for asking.
Just real quick. I just want to let the board know, we've been having trouble again with minutes takers. The minutes taker we had was primarily working for the planning board, and you guys are a little bit behind because of that. She's now taking some time off through May because she's teaching a college class, so we're going to be trying to get a service back to catch you up to minutes. So I just wanted to make that announcement. That's why you haven't had minutes to approve for a while. We'll be trying to get you caught up here in the next 2 to 4 weeks.
All right, thank
Sorry
you.
about that.
I've missed it, so that's good.
You've missed it. All right, we have a Hamilton Police report and update from our chief, Russ Stevens. Hi, Russ.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Welcome back, Mr. Wilson.
Sir?
Kind of twofold. So I just want to bring you up to speed on some of the stuff that we've been doing and see if there's anything as board members that you're hearing from the people in town that I may be missing that maybe you can funnel my way. So We started on a project, the Body One Camera Project, which was started about a year and a half, almost 2 years ago. We received grant funding, so we just rolled that out a couple months ago, so all the police officers have a new look. They have a camera attached to them now, and all the funding we got that was through grants, state grants that we applied for. So you'll see them out there now with cameras on. The other thing we have in play right now, we have our internship program that started up. The internship program is a high school intern that's with us now, Christina, and it's 6 weeks long and it's 20 hours a week. So she'll be with us. We also have her with dispatch, and we also have her with the fire department as well, to give her a full feeling of what public safety is. A lot of people think of public safety and you just think police. They don't understand the dispatch concept and what dispatch does for us. They don't understand what the fire department does for us. Public safety is more than just police. So we have that internship we're doing as well. And April 22nd is National Drug Take Back Day. So on April 22nd, we're going to try to push this out through social media as well. It's National Drug Take Back. You can come to the police department. We have the kiosks that are in the police department that people can come all the time. Those things fill up fairly quickly. So now on this particular day, it's the National Day, so we'll have buckets there. So whatever you, and I encourage people, empty out your cabinets in your bathroom. If you've had surgeries years ago, get rid of those painkillers. Do not dump them down the toilets. They do affect, studies have shown they do affect groundwater. Bring them in. We'll dispose of them. On May 10th, we're going to have, the school is having Ride a Bike to School Day. So the school is working with the SRO, I should say the SRO is working with the school on Ride a Bike to School Day. We're going to have our school officers out on that day, our bike officers out on that day as well. And on that given day, we've got a grant. We picked up helmets. We've got helmets, bike helmets. So we'll be changing bike helmets out with kids. If we have any young students that are riding without a bike helmet, we're going to give them a bike helmet as well. We're also working with a family-owned business in Wenham who does, you can see them, they ride around with a van, they do bike repairs in the vans. They're going to be coming up, we're working with them. They're actually going to, if it works out, they're going to go to each one of the schools, and where the kids park their bikes in the racks, they're going to inspect their bikes and make any minor changes right then and there. If it works out that way, we're hoping it does. So you will see our bike officers out and about on the May 10th. One of the other things we've done too, we were seeing we're having accidents on Essex and Woodbury Street, coming up from Wenham, approaching Essex Street on Woodbury. And why do I bring that up? We weren't having a lot of accidents there, but the accidents we were having there were serious injury accidents. That's kind of a dangerous area, and it's an area we've been trying to work with and moving the stop signs. And so the latest thing we've tried, knock on wood, so far it's worked out, is we have a stop sign that's lit. So if you've gone up that way, it really pops, especially at nighttime, it pops. It's solar powered. It pulls out the people that are coming that way. If you don't know the road, especially at nighttime when you're driving up that, all of a sudden it's a four-way intersection and you can buzz right through it. So this is kind of popping. So we're doing this one now. It was fairly cheap, and we worked it with Tim upstairs, and we put the sign up. Again, it's solar powered, and knock on wood, it's working so far for us. So that's something we're going to look at throughout town if there's other dangerous intersections. We look at high accident rate, and we also more so look at serious injuries, areas, accidents that we're having serious injuries at. So that's something we're trying there as well. And one of the big reasons I came here tonight was to bring Sergeant Archidini with us. So April is Alzheimer's Awareness Month, and Sergeant Archidini has spearheaded a program which started last year, which all the credit goes to him and all him. And he's worked with the schools. So I've asked him to come here before the board and explain what we've done so far, explain what we're doing and how we're going to present for the rest of the month, what we're doing for the rest of the month. So if I can ask him to come up, if I could have a few minutes of your time.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chief.
Body cam.
Yeah.
There's the body cam as advertised. It is not on, it's just ready for use if necessary. So I greet everyone on the select board and our town manager. Thank you for the opportunity tonight. I know everyone's time is valuable. And April is Autism Awareness Month, and I'm always on the forefront that I do have a personal connection My oldest son was 15 years old, and when he was 18 months old, he was diagnosed on the spectrum. So I've been living with this since he was 18 months old, something that's very near and dear to my heart, and I was able to incorporate it into my professional capacity as a police officer here in Hamilton. It really started in 2021, shift change in March, a lot of guys in the hallway, and I made the statement to the chief, hey, why don't we do anything for the month of April? It's Autism Awareness Month. We're a 24/7, 365 organization. We're a great avenue. And the chief, being the chief, said, great idea. Give me some ideas. Don't just say it. Prove it. So I went right to work, and I said, okay, how about for April 21? I found some magnets we can put on the cruisers. Every cruiser would have a magnet that said Autism Awareness, and I found bracelets to wear on our wrist. So for April 2021, that's what we did to promote awareness. It was a conversation starter. When we met people in the community, it was a chance to talk about it. This was a big success, and we decided to move forward. So the chief came back to me and said, hey, what if we launch an outreach program, an autism disability outreach program? I thought that was a great idea. Having a son with autism, I know how important it is for myself and as a police officer. Certain things might be misconstrued, so let's do it. Started attending various trainings, and the first thing I realized in all the trainings I went to is you need to build credibility within your town. And the way to do that is training. You need to train every single officer. What is autism? What are the signs and symptoms? What are some mannerisms that you might see associated with autism? So we reached out to Joanne Coughlin. She's a special ed teacher at the Winthrop School. And we asked Joanne, will you put a 4-hour program for us together that we can teach all the officers, and if it's okay with her, which it was, can I join you? As we all know, when we go to various trainings in our respective professions, sometimes you get all these big terms thrown at you and people aren't listening. But the benefit of a small department like ours is everyone knows my son. Everyone has seen my son, Steven, and they've seen him grow up. So as Joanne was talking about the different mannerisms, the different terms, and the stigmas associated with autism, I personalized it by saying, hey, this is what my son does. You know, there's a term called stimming, where you repetitive behavior. So my son's fingers are going like this, that means he's very excited. So this morning, for instance, because the Red Sox, the Celtics, and the Bruins all won yesterday, it was a very exciting morning when I woke up so he could share these stories with me. But personalizing that training with Joanne, every Hamilton police officer attended this training, and the Wenham police attended it. So now we all had a baseline on what autism was and how, in case we come across it in the community, how to interact with someone with autism. From there, I took the next step where I met with the schools, our special ed director, our superintendent, all the principals, and I started meeting parents. I remember knocking on individual parents' doors through my 20 years here in Hamilton that I'd come across families. Just wanted a 5-minute conversation to get some feedback. Next thing I know, I'm at the kitchen table having dinner and having our conversation. It was a beautiful thing. So because of the pandemic, we all lived through it. The best way to communicate was Zoom. Unfortunately, I think I present better in person. You feel my passion. I don't come across that good in Zoom. But in January in 2022, I reached out to CPAC, which is the Special Education Parental Advisory Council. Every city and town has one. And hey, can I present on your platform via Zoom? They have monthly meetings, and I want to talk about a program we want to launch here at the Hamilton Police. And they gave me the platform, they gave me the opportunity. So in January 2022, Autism Disability Outreach Program goes live. A quick synopsis on this program is it gives families a chance to tell us as police officers, tell us about your loved one, whether it's a child or an adult. What are certain triggers that we should avoid? What are certain topics that we should bring up in case they're oversensitized and having an episode? How can we bring them back and have it peaceful? In our line of work, we all want de-escalation, we all want a peaceful resolution. Well, getting information from the families is a way of doing this. And one example real quick is there's a nonverbal autistic female who visits her grandmother in Hamilton, and she likes to run. So sure enough, she ran one day, but we had known that she likes water, so we knew right to go to Chabaco Road, check the lakes, and check personal swimming pools that she'd become familiar with. Well, we didn't have to, not say waste time, but utilize valuable time getting background info. We had her info, we knew who we were looking for, and we found her, and everything was good. But that's the benefit of this program. Grandma, I don't want to give names, gave us this information so we respond quicker and more efficiently. That's just one example how the program works. Anything you provide to us goes into our database. The police, the fire, and our dispatch has access to it. So either a name or an address might trigger, hey, there's an individual there that is on the Autism Disability Outreach Program. So we might be there for a parent, but we know there's a child in the house with autism. Let's not forget about them in case we transport the parent to a hospital. It might be a nonverbal or someone with disability inside that house. It's all about awareness. So fast forward, the program's launch, April 2022. We stuck with the magnets on our cruises, the bracelet stayed, and I incorporated the collar pins. I wear them today, and I say autism awareness. So year 2, we continue to evolve, continue to promote autism awareness, promote acceptance with autism. And in April 2022, I went to the chief, I go, well, I got a crazy idea I want to run by you, you know, looks good on my end, but I don't think it from your end. You work out the logistics. I'm like, I want to do a fundraiser, and I sold it as we're a local police department. I've reached out to a local business, Five Sons Pizza. We have local schools, and let's use our local community, and let's raise money for special education in April. And we had one of those restaurant promotions where on one certain night, 20% of your order goes to the charity. We see this all the time. Well, Chief, I'm not done yet. One more little thing. I go, what if we are the delivery drivers? What if after 4 o'clock, we go to people's houses, we bring the food, we interact with the families and the children and let them play around with the lights and the sirens? I go, I don't know what the logistics are, what the legalities are, but if you can make it happen, I think this is a home run. And I know the chief talked to our town manager and everyone was on board. I was there at 3:50 last year, ready to go. No exaggeration, at 4 o'clock, I've never seen so many phones ring, so many online orders zipping out of the printer. We were overwhelmed. Five Sons was overwhelmed. In 75 minutes, we had to shut every phone line down and stop every online order. And we were there till, I think it was 9:30, we made our last delivery that night. In about 75 minutes through that night, we raised over $2,500, and all of it went back to CPAC. And the other thing I want to bring up is, when you run this program, you can't be successful unless you have volunteers. So we reached out to the fellow Hamilton police officers and Wenham Police, and I'll speak on behalf of Hamilton. We're a 17-person department. 2 people had to work because we still have to provide coverage for the town. Out of our 15 other people, 12 people volunteered their time. From 4 to 8 p.m., over 80% of our department want to volunteer that time. And I can say for this year, we're at about 90%. No one wants to miss this event. Everyone knows how successful it was and how much it touched everyone, but being at people's houses. So the money last year went to CPAC. And the beautiful thing about CPAC is it falls under our school district, but they control the money. And the 2 things that they focus on is they support activities and initiatives that benefit students with disabilities. And secondly, which something I liked, is they create disability awareness presentations for families. So that's where the money went to, and that's where we're heading this way. So fast forward to here I am today, standing in front of you. It's April 2023. And one thing is we're very open to feedback. Since we've launched this April Autism Awareness Month, our magnets on our cruises were puzzle pieces. And we got feedback from the community that the puzzle piece isn't always a positive connotation with autism, something that I was not familiar with. So we brought some citizens in and we were just educated. They said the puzzle sometimes is synonymous with mystery or being a puzzle piece, and people found that as negative. That's an excellent point. I never thought of it. I got introduced to neurodiversity, how everyone thinks differently. So we took the feedback from the community, and then we decided to edit no more puzzle piece. And so I went out and started researching it and created my own logo for the Hamilton Police Department. And so what we did is, what's the purpose of this program? Well, in talking to the chief and all the members of our department, like, what we're trying to do is we want to create partnerships. So what I did is we came up with this logo, and I'll give everyone a copy. It's a handprint. It shows the diversity of autism with all the different colors, has a heart in the middle, and it just has our logo, Creating Partnerships, Hamilton Police. So what I did is I took this picture and made magnets. So if you see any Hamilton police car at this point, you're going to see this in the back of the car as a magnet, and we provide stickers for people as a way of showing support. It just, again, all about autism, but it just shows that we're taking feedback, we're getting the community involved, tell us what works, what doesn't work. We updated our bracelets, and we still wear the collar pins. So here I am And I'm proud to announce 2 weeks from tomorrow, we're doing our second annual fundraiser. We're back with Five Sons. We found out what went wrong last year. We were overwhelmed. And that's how great Hamilton and Wenham both are. Everyone wants to support. So what I'm hoping for is that everyone in this room, I'll be visiting your house on Tuesday, April 25th. All the money is going to CPAC once again. And the beauty of it, we were so overwhelmed, we asked our fire departments for Hamilton and Wenham, hey, will you join us? We could use some more personnel, and they jumped right on board. So this year, it will be Hamilton Police, Hamilton Fire, Wenham Police, and Wenham Fire. After 4 o'clock, any order will be delivered free to your house. And all the money from that night will go back to Hamilton Wenham Special Education. So it's something I'm very proud of. It's something we keep evolving every year. And I just like to wrap it up and say, people ask, what is community policing? I think what you see here, what we do here at the Hamilton PD, this is a perfect example of what community policing is, creating these partnerships with the town. And so what I'd like to give to all members of the select board and our town manager is I have bracelets. If you choose to wear them, feel free. I have stickers, and I'm going to give you an advertisement for our fundraiser night, because that's the most important thing. We got to benefit special education. So I'll hand those out, but overall, I say thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Joe.
I have a quick question. So families who have a child in the home who want to let you guys know through the outreach program, do they just call the
So,
agent, or do you send an email? How do they?
so on our website, there's a direct link. There's an autism disability outreach program form you can fill out.
Okay.
All my contact information, I am the liaison for this program. They can contact me directly.
Okay.
But if you go on the Hamilton Police website, the first thing you're going to see is a big space for autism disability outreach program.
Okay.
And I encourage anyone who knows a loved one or anyone in the community that has anyone with a disability or autism, we'd love to have the information, because it really is a game changer.
Okay, good to know. Thank you.
Thanks, Joe. As Joe's passed this around, I really want to say this is, as you can see, this is Joe's passion. Joe does a great job in a lot of different areas.
Good job.
But this is clearly something he developed, something he does, and something he does this year-round.
I get an extra bracelet?
So I
My son
truly
collects them.
appreciate the work that Joe does.
Youngest son has them.
From me to the board, if there's anything that you're hearing from the people in town that revolves around public safety, shoot me an email, tell Joe, I'm always talking to Joe, tell Joe, he can push it to me. If anything pops up, please send it to me. I'm more than happy to listen to anything. Peacocks on people's railings, whatever need be. Does anyone have any questions of me?
I had two questions. I wore my peacock vest today. Two questions for you. So actually, one question, one comment. Number one was, you kind of mentioned it, but my question to you was trends. Any trends you're seeing? You talked about the stretch of road, but any other trends you're seeing in town that we should think about, be concerned about, or?
So we're always hearing from people, and it happens this time of year. Now we're getting at people, we're getting at people that are joggers are out heavy now. Bicycle races are going to kick up. You're going to see horses crossing the roads a little more. We always hear about speeding vehicles up and down the roads. We have a traffic counter. We're actually doing traffic counting. We're trying to mark all the roads. We can put out a device, and we can gauge traffic. It counts all cars. I can put it on Bay Road. Now, Bay Road's a busy road, but it'll count all traffic going both ways. It'll give speeds. It tells me what time, day or night, the speeds of each vehicle, whether it's a tractor trailer, a truck, or a car. So we're trying to do this on all the roads. So we are getting a kick up of people complaining of vehicles traveling too fast. Sometimes people complain about that, and we do the traffic study, and we don't have the speeds that they're saying. If you're by the road and a car goes by you at 40 miles an hour, that's fast when you're that close to the car. So a lot of times people are calling, they're not going as fast as what people say they are. But I'm more than happy to put the traffic counter out. Now this time of the year, we have 2 speed radar trailers we can deploy. Actually, they're charging up right now. We just pulled them out and dusted them off, so we'll start deploying those now. So if people are calling about speeding, what we try to do is we try to do traffic calming first. We put the speed trailers out that warn people of the speeds. I'll then put a cruiser out there. If we stop people, I'm into education first before enforcement. If we can stop them, warn them, slow down, you're traveling too fast, and it slows them down, we've done our job. But speeding, I would have to say, Bill, is the one thing.
Okay. No, I just wanted to applaud, your department. I think that not only are you professional, but I would say that you're probably the most approachable department. And the fact that you can approach any police officer in town with a smile and welcome, welcome faces, I think is an important thing for all of our citizens community. I
Thank
don't think any police officer I've ever seen that's not smiling, saying hi to you as you walk by him, so.
Thank you.
think
I
that's something
appreciate
that's really
that.
important to do and to keep it up, so.
Thank you very much. Anyone else have anything for me?
I have a question about the Take Your Bike to School Day, or Ride Your Bike to School Day.
Ride Your Bike to School Day.
It always makes me think of that Asbury crosswalk,
Mhm.
where you can't even cross there. Will there be extra police officers around making sure that kids don't get hit by cars that day?
So every morning, we have a traffic officer down at the high school directing traffic. Then that traffic officer moves up to Asbury Street at the crossing there. So on that particular day, because we're probably getting more people on bikes, the officers will be there even longer, and we'll post officers throughout the area. We're hoping to have a bike officer at every one of those intersections, so
Okay.
the bike officer will do the traffic. So to answer your question, yes.
Okay. Yeah, it's not that first one, though, on Asbury, it's that
So-
second one.
By Willow Street?
Yes.
Yeah, that one's
Okay.
pretty
Like,
rough.
like, most of us who live in that neighborhood will not let our kids cross there, because cars just do not stop there. It's very anxiety-inducing.
I can actually, I'll look at that one.
That one's a pretty,
It's
the
so
years
rough.
I've lived here, it's always been pretty bad. I've stood there with both my kids and watched 10
It just-
cars
There's something
go
about the,
by.
like, the landscaping and
Yeah.
the location, and they just,
I remember
and-
last year, Trep had put out one of those like cones,
Yeah, the median.
and people were just driving over the cone
Yeah.
in the middle of the
So we
road.
put out, we have a pedestrian crossing sign that we put out in the good weather. We can't put out in the winter. We can try deploying that too, and that's the sign that sits in the middle. But you're right, sometimes it'll be run over.
Yeah.
We can try doing that too. I'll look at that.
okay.
I'll take a peek at that.
All right, anybody else? Any comments or questions? I see
Rob,
Robin online. Hi, Robin.
Hey, thank you. I have just a quick question about the fundraising through Five Sons. I wondered if, since we have 2 pizza parlors in town, if Hamilton House was ever considered, and just to give them a shot at it, or are there substantial reasons for sticking with Five Sons again?
No, we did it with Five Sons as a pilot last year. It just worked out so well. We just did it again with them. At best, I would have to say it's an oversight. Maybe next year we'll look at it and reach out to them next year and see if Hamilton House wants to do it, or see if we can get them both to do it.
Yeah.
Well, maybe doing both next year would be a good idea, so that it doesn't seem to be favoring one and disfavoring the other,
No, we can,
because that
we can
might
do
have a
it.
negative effect on
Sure.
Hamilton House and the folks who are trying hard to earn a living there.
Yep,
So,
no, it's a good idea. Next year, maybe we'll reach out to both of them, and if you call an order to Hamilton House, we'll deliver that. We'll put so many people at Hamilton House, so many people at Five Sons, and if you call the orders in, we'll run those. Myself and
Sounds
Captain
good.
James were
Thank
delivering
you.
pizza at 9:30 at night. I'm usually in my pajamas at 9:30 at night.
Just be
Thank
glad he
you.
didn't deliver it in his pajamas.
That's true. And Joe last year bought pizzas for everyone who worked Tuesday, because we do it on a Tuesday. Everyone who worked, and Joe bought pizzas for all the employees. So that
We'll be
was good.
buying pizzas again, so make sure, save the cruiser to get our pizzas here.
Right. Just to kind of, thank you very much, Chief. I just had a kind of a suggestion / comment for Joe about the autism awareness stuff. I saw when I was waiting in line to turn into the mall the other day, a car that had a sticker on the back window that said that someone inside had autism, and it kind of described how to approach the vehicle and all this kind of stuff. I don't know if you've seen anything like that before, but I've seen it a couple of times now, where it's like a sticker or magnet on the car on the back window that basically says there's someone in here with some type of I don't know what to say, but, and it was kind of steps on how to prevent any escalation, or, this person may not talk to you if they're addressed, et cetera, that kind of a thing. So that might be something you might consider looking into and seeing if that's something you could hand out to some people that may have that kind of a situation. So it might be a good thing.
Definitely. We have, when we talk about, we have a site file. So if you were a parent, you could call in and put the information on a site file. My wife's a special education teacher, and sometimes sirens bother her students. Sometimes lights would bother. And we could, if we're rolling up, you dial 911, we're going to come there with lights and siren. But if it's in our site file that a loved one inside has an aversion to light, or they're a runner if they see lights and siren, then we can approach differently. So it's, people, it's a unique aspect, and we can do it differently if we have the information. That's why the information is important to us.
So if you have somebody, go to the website,
Please.
put yourself in the database.
Yep. And Joe will, if you want, Joe will come down, he'll sit down with you, introduce himself, work with your loved one. Or if you don't want us to come down, you can just give us the information, we'll load it into the site file. So,
Awesome.
thank you very much. I know
Thank
I
you,
took a
gentlemen.
little more of your time, but I
Keep up the
apologize.
great
Thank you
work.
very much for the
Important.
update.
Thank you.
I got my flyers, I don't know.
Oh, yeah,
Any money here,
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
spread the word.
thank you, sir.
All day this year, not just at 4?
That's one of the changes this year, is it is all day. so
All day,
you can
so-
go to lunch.
Deliveries are after 4 PM, but the fundraiser is all day.
Fundraisers all day.
So if you don't mind picking up your own pizza, you can call earlier in the day and still benefit. That's
Yeah,
great.
that's Before you get that personal touch.
That's great.
Awesome.
Thank you.
All right, up next, we have our consent agenda, approve monthly movie night, noise exemption at Patton Homestead, approve banner for June music series at Patton Homestead. Anybody want to make a motion to approve or hold anything?
So moved.
All right, a second?
Second.
Any questions? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, awesome. And then first order of business tonight, organize the select board for the upcoming year. So open for nominations and votes for select board chair, select board vice chair, and clerk and secretary.
So we'll start with the chair.
What was that?
Oh,
What's that?
Oh, I thought you said, I couldn't hear you.
You do want, Carolyn, do you want to be chair this year?
Absolutely not, I do not, but thank you for offering.
we were gonna force the issue, right, and we're all gonna
Lloyd
gang
thinks
up on
we're-
I
it.
mean, look, I've said this before, I'll do it, but I won't do it well. And so if y'all want me to do it, I will do it, but I will not do it well.
I'm good.
What's that?
I'm good, he says.
I think that Sean, in his final lap,
Yeah.
needs to just carry this banner. You're in the middle of some very important things that would fumble without you. I think it would be an honor to have you be our chair for the next year.
You've done a great job, and would recommend you to
Now, if your
continue.
marriage is on the rocks, then we can talk about it.
No, we're good there, so.
Okay, so I nominate Sean Farrell.
She's a very tolerant
chair.
person.
I second that.
All in favor?
Would you accept the nomination?
I guess I accept the nomination. I don't have much choice, I guess.
All right.
That's a good call.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, and I'll aye myself there. It's unanimous. All right, vice chair, since we've lost our vice chair and we've gained a new select board member. Anybody?
Carolyn would like to be vice chair.
I mean, sure. That just means if you're not here, I run a meeting.
Yeah.
But really, you run the meeting and whisper to me? Great, yes. Sure.
All
I
right,
make a motion to nominate Carolyn Bellew to vice chair.
Second.
all right, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, and then last but not least, our clerk/secretary.
Who was the,
It was Caroline.
Caroline was.
I didn't have to do anything at all because we lost our minutes. And then,
It seems like there's a lot of minutes coming up, so Tom should do it.
I think our new select board member would love that.
I've got multiple years. as a
yeah,
selectman.
yeah,
I'd like to-
he's got more.
This year's a challenge for me, so I'd rather just kind of,
I make
very
a,
busy with the master
contribute.
plan steering.
I make a motion to
Nice.
nominate Tom as our
I'll-
clerk, select board
I'll
clerk
second
secretary.
that. I'll second that. Okay.
Hey.
Did you actually vote against yourself? I'm gonna record that as a 4-1 vote. Secretary, despite your opposition.
All those in
All those in
favor
favor.
say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all right, so chair, myself, vice chair Caroline, Beaulieu, and our clerk secretary, Tom. All right, now we have with us our illustrious Board of Health Chair, David Smith, who's going to give us some information on green burials that we talked about a little while ago.
Thank you for the opportunity to address you on the subject of that Green Burials report and recommendation that was in your packet for the meeting tonight. So back on February 6th at your meeting here, Dr. Ramsey and I appeared and presented a summary of what we'd learned to date. And I think the key element in that summary was that the State Department of Environmental Protection had issued guidance for local boards of health on how to approach this question of green burials. And we explained to you that a key question in that guidance that we would have to answer was whether the town cemetery was in a hydrogeologically appropriate site for the green burials. And at the time, I kind of felt that the board and staff really did not have certainly either the budget or the expertise to make that assessment. And so I thought we'd have to hire an expert consultant. And I remember Joe asked me what did I think it was going to cost? And I said, somewhere between $5,000 and $10,000. And so I solicited a proposal from an expert, and his estimate was, somewhere in the neighborhood of $7,000. But before we authorized the consultant to proceed, we took a hard look at the approach and the scope of work that the consultant proposed. And I thought to myself, I think we really ought to thoroughly research our files, our data, our maps, our records, to see if we can answer the question ourselves without having to actually employ the services of this consultant. It turns out that based on our institutional knowledge of the area and with some exceptional detective work by the board and staff, we found what we needed to develop an authoritative answer to the DEP's question, and that's embodied in that brief report that's in your packet. So what I really wanted to do is take advantage of the opportunity here to applaud the board and the health department staff for their terrific efforts, which resulted in avoiding the need to ask the town for an unbudgeted sum of $7,000 for this consultant.
I applaud you as well, thank you.
Yeah, same.
So, do you have any questions about the recommendation and report?
No, I guess, and for the folks at home that maybe don't see the report, can you just give us you had kind of 3 recommendations, and they were all to a similar outcome. So if you could just kind of explain what you came to.
The DEP guidance states that green burials should not be permitted within 700 feet of a private water well where the green burials, where there would be multiple green burials. If it's just a single green burial, for example, in somebody's backyard, they recommend a minimum of 300 feet separation between that private well and the green burial site. But where, in this case, there may be multiple green burials once you give approval, they recommend 700 feet. The nearest well is only 150 feet from the property boundary between the resident and the cemetery, or I estimated about 200 feet from where the green burials would be conducted. And the other private water well is about 300 feet from the property boundary and maybe 350 feet from where the green burials would be. Both of those are just way too close for green burials. The green burials would have to be outside the cemetery, in fact, to comply with that 700-foot recommendation that the DEP has made. So that alone, I think, suggests that green burials really shouldn't be allowed. But then we went further and we dug up the Title V septic system design reports for several residences where the septic systems were installed in the last 20 years or so. And we had Greg Bernard look at those reports and determine what was what's called seasonal high groundwater level, and it turns out it's 3 to 4 feet below the surface. Tim Olson corroborated that when he told us that when his staff are digging a grave in the current portion of the cemetery where you actually can, where plots are available, he encounters water at 3 to 4 feet. So those two things agree perfectly with one another. The problem that presents then is all the guidance suggests you must cover at least 3 feet of soil and ideally 4 feet of soil above the burial. And those two things become mutually exclusive. You can't do both. So on the basis then of the seasonal high groundwater table level being too high to allow the kind of cover that you need to protect the remains, You just can't use that area of the cemetery for green burials. So we were able then to pretty definitively answer the question that this area in the cemetery where there are active grave sites being prepared, you can't comply with the DEP guidance on distance from a private water well and the relationship between the seasonal high groundwater table and the cover that's required. That means that the cemetery is not hydrogeologically appropriate for green burials. Simple as that. Now, if I am sure there are locations in Hamilton that would be hydrogeologically appropriate for green burials, but our cemetery is just not one of them, that's all.
Right. I guess it's, first I'll say thank you, David, for doing all this and coming tonight and sharing with us, but I think it gives us kind of food for thought if we do acquire more property, that this may become a trend, and we'll have to think appropriately when we do purchase other property for cemetery.
Exactly. Here's a good example, by the way. In Wenham, the Iron Rail Cemetery is approved for green burials. And if you're familiar with the Iron Rail Cemetery, the reasons are pretty obvious. It's on high ground. It's very sparsely used. It isn't next door to the Miles River like our cemetery is. There's no wetlands around up there. So I think it's an ideal case of a site that's hydrogeologically appropriate for green burials. And there's going to be places in Hamilton that would meet those criteria.
Any questions for David?
No, I think it's very prescriptive analysis, well thought out, and hard to question it. So thank you for your thoroughness, and
Okay, you're welcome.
appreciate the.
Speaking of trends, is it a common ask for a green burial, or is it a one-off thing?
We haven't had any specific requests of the Hamilton Cemetery to this point. This was raised by a resident who brought it to the select board asking about it, so.
Okay.
There are a half a dozen cemeteries in this part of the Commonwealth where green burials are permitted. And apparently, once they're approved, I guess then people will think, oh, well, maybe that's something I should consider. My suspicion is it's going to be a trend. You know?
Okay. All right, thank you, David. All right, up next we have approve common victualers license for the general store. All the application, everything's in your packets.
Yep, all the paperwork's in order, we have everything, and the owner of the store is with us, if you have questions for her.
Hey, Angela.
I'm here. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Angela, this is not personal. I'm so excited y'all are here, but I have to run. But
Go.
No worries.
See you later.
All right, does anybody have any questions for Angela, or we can make a motion, or both?
I just want to give her the opportunity just to say what she's doing
Yeah.
over there, so.
Want to give yourself a shameless plug, Angela?
Angela, sorry, did you hear us?
Oh, sorry,
Oh, we're muted.
we're muted. I was getting feedback.
Are we good now? Angela, can you hear us now? No?
Yeah, okay.
There we go.
Angela, can you hear us?
I can hear you now. It seemed like you guys cut out there.
Yeah, we were muted for a second. Technical difficulties. Do you want to give yourself a shameless plug right now?
Sure. So it took us a while to get up and running fully, but we are now open. We have coffee from Atomic Coffee Roasters, local baked goods from Treat Cakes and Confections. We've got another local baker who's doing mini pies for us. And we're continuing to add as many local products as we can. And we've got there's a patio out there and some furniture. So I'm hoping people will come down and hang out and chat with their neighbors.
Awesome. Anybody want to make a motion now?
Make a motion to approve the common victualers license for the general store.
Second.
Do you have to give the address? At
63 Willow Street.
63 Willow Street.
And a second by Tom. Any further discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. Thank you, Angela.
Thanks, Angela.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, up next we have appoint former Select Board Vice Chair Jamie Knudsen to the Affordable Housing Trust. Jamie's joined us tonight. Jamie is filling a seat that Marnie Crouch was occupying, and now he is off the select board. He was a liaison for that board, so now he is, will be an at-large member. Jamie?
Fits us so much, he had to come to the first.
Yeah, we're not gonna let him leave now.
See the honey in the background? I saw that you gave him a gift. I was expecting a welcome gift, but
Another jar of honey for a welcome gift? Well, I dropped the ball, I guess. Anybody want to make a motion to approve or appoint Jamie to the Affordable Housing Trust?
I'll make my first motion and
Yeah.
move that we appoint Jamie Knutson to the Affordable Housing Trust.
All right, anybody second?
Second.
All right, any further discussion?
Hey, Jamie, anything you want to say, or you ready to go for us to go to vote?
No, I'm just here in case you guys are going to grill me. But,
What are your
but yeah, I
intentions?
mean, obviously I've been serving on it, and
He was the chair, so just so you
Yeah.
know,
Oh, he was.
this is valuable to keep him here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so-
Continuity.
Yeah, so this is a good thing because Jamie was basically just elected the chair maybe a month or so ago. So this is some continuity and stable head of the helm here. So
Great.
we appreciate you, Jamie, and take a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The ayes have it, Jamie. Thank you very much.
all right, thank you guys.
Yeah, take care.
I'll know for you, Jamie, that Caroline left before she could vote for you. So just, you may want to take that up.
Yeah,
Don't do.
tennis is more important, or whatever.
All right, up next we have vote to close the warrant for special town meeting. In your packets are the couple of items that are potentially on the, is it in that one or the other email?
Gmail, was it, the second one?
I think it's the second one,
You want me to read them?
Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks, Joe.
Currently, it's looking like 3 issues, but 5 articles. Bills of a prior year. Approve a CPC request for town hall renovation funding. Approve a free cash request for town hall renovation funding. Approve Browns Hill Overlay District tentatively. And approve an amendment to the groundwater protection overlay designation on Browns Hill. Obviously, the planning board is still hard at work on those last 2. But that is all we know that we need to do at the special.
Any questions on any of those articles? No, there are no surprises, really. We've been talking about them for a while, so. Seeing no questions, anybody want to make a motion to close the warrant for the, we'll call it April, or sorry, not April, June town meeting?
I'll make a motion to close the warrant for the June special town meeting.
I'm second that.
All right, any discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye?
And that was under a separate packet, Joe, or not?
Yeah, there's the email that
Oh,
came from.
You were added to the select board group, so you should have got it today.
It just came today.
Okay.
It came from, who did it come from? Came from you, Joe, right?
Yeah,
Was it part of the draft calendar?
Yeah.
Yeah, 3.
I thought it was with the draft calendar, should have been. Bill, I'll make sure I send it to you
Okay,
before I leave.
yeah, I might have it in here. I'm not seeing it, but that's fine. Thank you.
All right, and then we have, any new business?
Boards and committees?
Yeah, I was gonna say, boards and committees, I'll try and send out a spreadsheet sometime in the next week or so. And then we'll,
I didn't do my review yet for Joe. When was that due?
It's actually due next week.
24th.
Oh, 24th, 2 weeks from now.
Maybe we'll expect some good notes.
All right. Send it to me. So, speaking of, that's current business. Any other current business I should get up to speed on before the next meeting that's not new but in play? We've got the warrant, we've got review, which, I probably won't be helpful in that, but
I think maybe just, and we can meet offline too, just about the Gordon Seminary and the planning board progress and kind of get you up to speed on all that.
It's all the master plan.
And he's basically
Yeah.
in charge of the master plan,
So
so
he knows that stuff.
he's up
yeah,
to
so
speed
we'll
on
put
that.
all our revisions back into
Town-
Judy and
town.
team, and we expect April 21st, we get the revisions back, so.
Okay.
I don't know if you want me to come and report on that. I know Caroline's part of it as well as a liaison, but I guess we'll talk about that during the.
Yeah, we'll have to
boards and
figure that out
committees.
when we do the board and committees shuffle.
Okay.
Anything else? Those are kind of our big hot topics at the moment. There's something else, I'll reach
Yeah.
out to you.
Perfect.
All right, and did you have a calendar, meeting calendar? Was that
I had a meeting calendar I sent out today to a bunch, I sent it to the select board, and then to planning board, FinCom, capital committee, and CPC, just to get, it's in draft form. We're open to people who want to make changes, edits to it, but that's trying to keep us on the schedule for when we have to post the warrant, when we have to have it go to the printers, when presentation slides will be due to me, et cetera, so.
Yep, so check that draft calendar and see if there's anything that needs to be adjusted in it. All right, I don't have anything else.
Just before you said that, there's something that popped into my head.
No?
I'm getting old.
All right, a motion to get out of here would be great.
Make a motion to adjourn.
All right? I'll second that. Second by Bill. All right, all those in favor say aye.
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 The meeting's got a lot shorter since last time.
First and last one.
I know.